Chigozie harbors a chilling secret. He performs forbidden rituals, transferring Amora's pregnancy to himself to secure wealth, protection and power, so he thought. Amora, unaware of her husband's dark deeds, begins to experience strange dreams and unexplained weakness. But the ancestors awaken her spiritual gifts, revealing the horrifying truth. One fateful night, welcome to Magic Studio, African Folktales, where stories come alive. Please subscribe to keep seeing more stories like this. In a small African village called Umuoma, there lived a young man named Chigozie and his beautiful wife, Amora. They were the pride of the village, and their love story inspired everyone. When Amora became pregnant with their first child, joy spread across the community. But beneath the surface of their happiness, Chigozie harbored a dark secret. As Amora's pregnancy progressed, at night, while Amora slept peacefully, Chigozie would carefully touch her stomach and whisper incantations. The pregnancy would transfer to him, causing her belly to shrink while his own grew. He would then carry the burden to the meeting, where it served as a token of his loyalty. By morning, he would return the pregnancy to Amora before she wake up without her knowing what has happened. This continued for months. Amora often felt strange movements in her body and she suffered from unusual body pains and fatigue. When she went to see the village midwife, the woman assured her that there is nothing to worry about, and she told her that every pregnancy came with its struggles. Chigozie played the role of a caring husband, masking his guilt with smiles and gestures of love. One fateful night, as the moon cast an eerie glow over the village, Chigozie attended another meeting. But something went wrong. That night, the society warned Chigozie that his sacrifices were not enough. He needed to offer something more significant. Desperate, Chigozie promised to bring his unborn child's destiny to their next meeting. The idea haunted him, but he convinced himself it was for the greater good. On the night of the ritual, things took a strange turn. As he performed the incantation to transfer the pregnancy, Amora suddenly opened her eyes. Chigozie froze in terror as Amora's gaze burned into his soul. She screamed in horror as she saw her husband pregnant, then she whispered, "Chigozie, what have you done to me?" Her voice sounded different, strong, commanding, and unfamiliar. Unknown to Chigozie, Amora came from a lineage of women with spiritual gifts. That night, her ancestors intervened. They revealed to her in a dream what her husband had been doing. Armed with this knowledge, she had been quietly preparing herself spiritually. Amora stood, her body glowing with an otherworldly light. Chigozie fell to his knees, begging for forgiveness. Amora didn't respond. Instead, she kept screaming in anger. Hearing the screams, her neighbors rushed to her house. News spread quickly, and the villagers gathered outside their home. The chief summoned a diviner. As the diviner arrived, he started chanting and praying, telling to confess. Chigozie screamed as he felt the weight of every dark act he had committed. Before he can confess, his mouth was sealed. He could no longer talk. Seeing this, the villagers were scared, but the village diviner smiled as he explained that his silence was a punishment from his coven. As he went ahead to expose Chigozie, he said, Chigozie was a member of a secret society that met in the dead of night. The society promised wealth and power, but the price was steep. Members were required to make sacrifices, and Chigozie's ultimate sacrifice was to take on his wife's pregnancy during their meetings, and his intentions is to sacrifice his unborn child. As he talked, all the villagers screamed in horror. The entire village turned against him. Elders chanted prayers and performed rituals to break the curse and save the unborn child. After hours of intense spiritual warfare, the pregnancy was returned to Amora. The villagers screamed with happiness. Chigozie, however, faced the consequences of his actions. The village elders banished him from Umuoma, and he wandered alone, haunted by the memories of his deeds. The story of Chigozie became a warning in Umuoma. Parents would gather their children and say, "Evil may promise wealth, but it always comes with a price. Be content with what you have, and never trade your family's peace for greed." Weeks later, Amora delivered safely to a healthy baby boy. Moral lessons: secrets born out of greed and darkness will always find their way into the light. Protect your family, live righteously, and remember that shortcuts to success often lead to destruction. The end. Please support the channel by liking and subscribe to Magic Studio African Folktales. Thanks for watching.